Good afternoon. Welcome to the October 2024 Executive Committee of the Board of Ed Retirement System. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, and the time is 12:33 p.m. Please be reminded that the committee meeting is being recorded and will be posted to the NYCBERS YouTube channel. I will now begin the meeting by calling the roll. John Matterich,
Frank Sarbella, and for John Matter.
Donald Nesbitt, present. Ray Faulkner, present. Anthony Giordano, Allen. We have a quorum. I would like to note for the record, Alice Ho, who's just board member, has just entered.
All the trustees on virtual.
And no other trustees are on so far. Agenda item number 1 is to consider the minutes from the September 24th, 2024 Executive Committee meeting, summary of which was included in your package sent prior to the meeting. May I get a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Motion by Greg. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Frank. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes indicate if you're in favor. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? The motion carries. We have a couple of agenda items for today's meeting. There is one contract related item for discussion only, and we'll save that to the end. So we would skip straight to agenda item number 3 with a brief introductory comments by investment team lead Salil Mehta. May we have a motion to consider this?
So moved.
Motion by Greg.
Second.
Second by Frank. Thank you, Salil. Tell us more.
Sure. So 3 basic items just to level set for this week. The first is you'll see that we're going to be talking about 2 private investments today. One at 10 million in private equity and one at 50 million in OFI. Those 2 continue to put us on our pacing schedule. For private equity, will be roughly 10% shy for the year because of the rejection of one of the investments from earlier this year. But we're otherwise we're essentially on schedule, and maybe for the first time in many years, also if anything, maybe a little less than the original amount of the pacing. And speaking of that, tomorrow Axia is going to be presenting the pacing for the year as well as BIPOC goals. Usually that's something that we would do in December time, but because that could potentially be the last time we see them, given that the contract's ending, we are going to have that being presented tomorrow. By all scenarios, including the ones I've put into the mix, the pacing levels will come down meaningfully in subsequent years, but it will not go to 0. And at the same time, it'll be more exclusively flavored towards BIPOC investments, and they'll discuss that. The last item is the developed market ex-US. I've actually presented on this at the executive committee exactly 2 years ago, October 2022. At the time, there was some issues with the performance of the 2 large cap managers in this segment of the portfolio. It's around 9% of the portfolio. It's in equities, of course, and also I guess the general sentiment at the time was to increase passive investments here because of just the lack of ability to get excess returns recently, and now it's almost 10 years in this particular space. Fast forward, I guess in recent weeks and months, Siegel and BAM have put together 2 portfolio options, which they'll show today. And I'll just give a very quick summary of what the differences are. So first of all, Bailey Gifford, which is our growth manager in the space, will be pulled out of both options. they were one of the underperformers along with, Wellington and so forth. The other one is Spruce Grove, which is a little different. That's something, that's been considered because over the last 10 years, that's underperformed, but it's remaining in one of the options. In the other option, that one's being replaced. And so you're really making a trade-off between, do you want to keep Spruce Grove or do you want to replace it with another value manager? So if you do replace it because you want to, find one that's or replace underperformer with maybe a better performing fund, it comes with a trade-off, which would be slightly higher fees, which they'll show you, as well as a higher fractional split towards growth. And so all that, together, and 25% would be the passive contribution in there. I still think that's a little better, but you guys will have a chance to look at that. And that will be voted on after you guys have a chance to look at it in a subsequent. I don't think it will get to consensus today. That's why it's being pushed to a future board meeting, potentially November. So that's where we are. Performance so far since the start of the fiscal year, up around 5% with our estimates for private markets, and just a couple percent short of a couple benchmarks. Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you, Salil. Now we'll turn to executive session for agenda item number 4. Do I have a motion to enter executive session? Motion made by Frank, second by Greg. Any? Okay, we'll enter into executive session. If you're in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those in favor
Aye.
of exiting executive session?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. In executive session, the executive committee trustees had one public equity portfolio construction discussion, one approval of a private equity fund, one approval of an OFI fund, and that was it. This was the last item on today's executive committee meeting. The next scheduled executive committee meeting will be November 26th at 12:30. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Tony. Do we have a second? Second by Frank. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, please indicate if you're in favor. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Want to stay here another hour?
Record.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.